Everyone thought she was just a helicopter mechanic. Until the emergency sirens blared and someone shouted, "We need a pilot." That woman walked toward the helicopter, tied up her hair, and when Colonel Morrison saw the tattoo on the back of her neck, his face went white as a sheet, because that tattoo was a symbol carried only by members of a special aviation unit known as the Night Eagles, a black eagle between two rotors. And that unit had never officially existed. When Maya Torres arrived at Fort Kellison Military Base, no one gave her a second glance. Average height, dark-haired, quiet woman in her early 30s. Her civilian personnel files simply read, "Helicopter Technician, Experienced." Her references were perfect, but none were military. Maya arrived earlier than everyone else each morning. She'd be in the hangar by 5:30. She'd drink her coffee and check the daily maintenance reports for the Apaches. She was never rushed. She did everything meticulously. Known for her blue coveralls, greasy gloves, and silence, the pilots on base barely noticed her. Lieutenant Jake Morrison, the colonel's son, enjoyed making fun of Maya. "Hey, mechanic lady, when will these birds be ready to fly?" He'd shout. Maya would answer without looking up, "When the checks are complete." "Have you ever flown a helicopter?" "No." Jake would laugh with his friends. "Of course she hasn't. Just a female mechanic." Maya's hand would pause for a moment, then she'd continue working. But something would flash in her eyes, and immediately fade. Months passed. Maya's skills began to be noticed gradually. When no one could find the problem with Lieutenant Sarah Chun's Apache hydraulic system, Maya had quietly approached and listened to the engine. "There's pressure loss in the left hydraulic pump," she'd said. She was right. Maya had identified, in 30 seconds, what would have taken 3 hours of troubleshooting. "Where did you work before?" Chun had asked. "Various places." Maya had given a short answer. Sergeant Mike Rodriguez had seen Maya in the hangar after the night shift too. At 22 o'clock, Maya was working alone in the Apache's engine compartment. "What are you doing here at this hour?" Rodriguez had asked. Maya had frozen. "Just ... checking." "What check?" "We handled everything during the day." Maya had gathered her tools. "It's nothing. I'm done." Rodriguez had watched her. Maya's walk toward the hangar door was different. Determined, disciplined. Military Bearing Major Tom Bradley had decided to examine Maya's file. She was an excellent technician, but her background was murky. The references from her previous jobs were perfect, but none were detailed. When Bradley called one of Maya's former employers, he was shocked. "Maya Torres? We never had such an employee." He got the same answer when he called the second company. Was Maya Torres's background fake? Bradley had called Maya to his office. "I have some questions about your background." "What kind of questions?" "I called your previous employers. None of them know you." Maya's eyes had focused on Bradley. Cold, calculating. "Human Resources checked my references. They said there was no problem. But I checked and ... Maya had stood up. "Major Bradley, are you making an accusation?" "No, just ... Because if you're making accusations, I want a lawyer. If you're not, I'd like to get back to work." Bradley had stopped. Maya's attitude was familiar. The attitude of experienced soldiers being interrogated. Maya's skills were attracting more and more attention. When Lieutenant Davis's Apache malfunctioned during a training flight, and all the technicians spent 4 hours trying to find the problem without success, Maya had said she wanted to check one last time. She walked around the Apache for 5 minutes, listening from different angles. Then she opened the engine cover and tightened a single screw. "Test it," she said. The engine ran perfectly. "How did you know?" The vibration frequency was wrong. The engine mount had loosened 0.3 millimeters. 0.3 millimeters? How did you notice that? Maya had shrugged. Experience. When new Apaches arrived on base, the latest model AH-64E Guardian, Maya had stopped. When she first saw the new Apache, she stood motionless for 5 minutes, then slowly approached and placed her hand on the fuselage. "You're beautiful," she had whispered. Rodriguez had heard this. "Have you seen this model before?" "No," Maya had quickly answered, "first time seeing it." But Rodriguez hadn't believed her. Maya's look at the new Apache was like seeing an old friend when the most skilled pilot, Captain Lisa Wong, was testing a challenging scenario in the Olefin simulator. There was a software error, and the simulator locked up. Wong was trapped inside. Systems weren't responding. While the technicians were panicking, Maya had quietly approached and looked at the control panel. She moved her hands over key combinations, and 30 seconds later, the simulator returned to normal. "How did you do that?" "Manual override code." "Have you used these systems before?" "No, just logic." But when Wong came out of the simulator, she looked at Maya strangely. "That code is classified information. Only authorized personnel know it." Jake Morrison's aggressive attitude toward Maya reached its peak one day. In a drunken state, he had confronted Maya. "What are you? Are you a woman or a man? You never talk, never smile. You're like a robot." Maya had continued working silently. "I'm talking to you." Jake had touched Maya's shoulder. Maya had turned. In one movement, she grabbed Jake's hand and twisted his wrist. Jake screamed in pain. "Don't touch me." Maya's voice was ice cold. Jake's wrist was helpless in Maya's grip. Maya's eyes. Jake had never seen such a look before. Deadly. Okay, let go." Maya had released him. Jake walked away holding his hand. Rodriguez had witnessed this scene. Maya's movement was that of a trained fighter. When Colonel Morrison saw his son's wrist was bruised, he asked, "What happened to this?" Jake reluctantly explained. Morrison began to wonder. How could a technician neutralize a lieutenant so easily? There was going to be a major exercise on base. All Apaches would take off simultaneously. Coordination was crucial. But on the morning of the exercise, 3 Apaches had technical problems. Maya had solved the problems in all 3 helicopters by herself. In 2 hours. Normally, a 3-technician team would do it in 6 hours. Morrison had watched Maya. The woman danced around the Apaches. Every movement precise, every decision correct. "Have you had military training before?" Morrison had asked. "No, sir." "Are you sure?" Maya had looked at Morrison. Something had flashed in her eyes. "I'm sure." But Morrison was now suspicious. Maya's cell phone rang one day, a number they hadn't called in 5 years. "Hello? Ghost, is that you?" Maya's heart had stopped. This voice was her commander, Colonel Richards. But Richards had died 3 years ago. "Who's calling?" "I'm Walker. I was on Richards's team. I needed to find you. You don't know me." Maya Ghost Torres. Night Eagles 197. Lost in Afghanistan. ... Maya had hung up. She noticed her hands were shaking. That night she sat at home, looking at her old files. Files she kept in a locked closet. Night Eagle's operations. 197 successful missions. And the last mission ... disaster. Asterisk. Maya had felt she was being followed when coming to base. A black sedan. The same car for 3 days. Federal plates. CIA or NSA. They had found her. Morrison had now decided to do deep research about Maya. He called his old friends at the Pentagon. "General Adams? This is Morrison. I want to ask about a name. Maya Torres." Silence. "Where did you hear this name?" "Morrison? She works at my base, as a technician." "Impossible." "Why impossible?" "Because Maya Torres died in 2019. In the Kandahar operation. Morrison was confused. But she works here. She's a real person. Morrison, listen to me carefully. Don't discuss this topic with anyone. Anyone. Don't mention Maya Torres's name. Again, do you understand? But General ... double quotes. This is an order. The line went dead. A man was waiting when Maya left the hangar. In his 40s, civilian clothes, but military bearing. Ghost? Maya had frozen. You don't know me. I'm Walker. We talked on the phone. We need to talk. We have nothing to talk about, Walker approached. There's new information about Operation Night Strike. Maya's face changed. Night Strike. The last operation in Kandahar, where everything ended. They sat in a cafe far from the base. I thought Richards was dead. Maya said, Richards is dead. But before he died, he learned the truth. What truth? Operation Night Strike was a trap. They sent us there on purpose. Maya's coffee fell from her hand. What? A group within the CIA. There were double agents. Night Eagles knew too much. They wanted to silence us. Walker pulled out a file. Richards gave this to me before he died. All Night Eagles members are targets. When you disappeared, they stopped searching. Maya looked at the file. CIA Internal Communications. False intelligence. Sent to Operation Night Strike. And a name list. Elimination list. Maya's name was at the top of the list. What do you want now? Maya asked. Justice. And revenge. Maya closed the file. I'm dead, Walker. Ghost Torres is dead. Maya Torres is alive, and she just repairs helicopters. Maya, they tried to kill you, and they succeeded. I no longer exist. Maya stood up. Maya, wait. There are other Night Eagles members, too. They're all hiding. They're all in danger. Maya stopped. How many? 7 people. I reached 5. 2 are missing. Maya turned back. Names? Walker gave her a paper. Maya looked at the names. Her friends. War brothers. We'll protect them, Maya said. But don't tell anyone my name. I'm dead, and I'll stay that way. When Maya returned to base, everything felt different. Morrison was looking at her strangely. Bradley was asking suspicious questions, as if everyone knew her real identity. Maya had to be more careful now. If her identity was exposed, not only herself, but other Night Eagles members would be in danger too. Just then, the emergency sirens began to sound. Maya had arrived early as usual, but there was a different tension in the air this morning. Personnel were running around. Radios were talking. What's happening? Maya asked a passing technician. Search and rescue operation in the mountains. 2 F-16s went down. Pilots are alive, but in enemy territory. Maya's heart raced. SAR operation. Search and rescue. One of the most dangerous mission types. Morrison had called all senior personnel to a meeting. Maya also attended as the head technician. 2 of our F-16 pilots went down, Morrison said. We have GPS coordinates, but the area is under enemy control. We need to send Apache support immediately. Major Bradley raised his hand. Sir, what's our pilot situation? Morrison's face fell. 3 of our pilots are on the sick list. 2 are on temporary duty at another base. 1 is under disciplinary action. How many pilots are left? 4 pilots. But none of them have the experience to carry out this operation alone. Silence fell over the room. We could ask for help from other bases, someone said. The nearest base is 400 kilometers away. There's no time for the pilots. We need to be there within 2 hours maximum. Maya was listening. SAR operation ... 2 hours. Enemy territory. This was exactly Night Eagle's specialty. Morrison had called the 4 rookie pilots. Who will lead this operation? He asked. The 4 pilots looked at each other. None of them wanted to take responsibility for such an operation. "Sir," Davis said, "these types of operations require at least 10 years of experience." "Then you'll go together. 2 Apaches, 4 pilots." "Sir, there will be coordination problems. Who will be the leader?" Morrison slammed his fist on the table. "One of you will be the leader." At that moment, Maya stood up. "Sir, I have a suggestion." Everyone turned to Maya. Why was the never-speaking technician speaking? "I can fly Apache," Maya said. Laughter rose in the room. Morrison frowned. "You're a technician, Maya." "Yes, sir. But I'm also a pilot." The laughter stopped. Everyone was looking at Maya. "Maya, you haven't had pilot training." "I have, sir. It's just not in the records here." Morrison stood up. "What do you mean?" Maya took a deep breath. It was decision time. Night Eagles 197. Maya Ghost Torres. The silence in the room was deafening. Major Bradley couldn't open his mouth. Morrison's face went white. "Impossible," Morrison whispered. "Ghost Torres is dead." "No, sir. Ghost Torres disappeared." "Maya Torres is here." Morrison began questioning Maya in front of everyone. "What's your proof?" Maya silently tied up her hair. The tattoo on the back of her neck became visible. Everyone in the room looked at the tattoo. Black eagle between 2 rotors with the number 197 below. Morrison's legs gave out. He collapsed into his chair. "My God, ... double quotes," he whispered. "You really are ... double quotes." "Yes, sir." 197 successful SAR operations. 0 casualties. Major Bradley tried to speak, but ... but in your file ... My file is fake. My identity is classified. I've been hiding here for the last 5 years. Morrison stood up. "Why are you hiding?" "Because they tried to kill me, sir. And they're still trying." Morrison looked at Maya. "Downed pilots, impossible operation, inexperienced pilots. Maya, if you're really Ghost Torres, I can complete this operation successfully, sir." "Alone?" "Alone." Morrison looked at the other pilots, then turned to Maya. "Okay, but first you have to prove it." Simulator test. Maya entered the simulator cabin. Outside Morrison, all the pilots and senior personnel were watching the screens. Morrison opened the microphone. "Maya, listen to the scenario. 2 downed pilots, enemy territory, active air defense, bad weather conditions. Begin." Maya put her hands on the controls. She hesitated for a moment. She hadn't done these things for 5 years. The Apache took off in the simulator. Maya's hands worked as if they had never stopped. Collective, cyclic, anti-torque pedals. Everything was automatic. "Impossible," Lieutenant Davis whispered. "These maneuvers?" Maya was flying the Apache at 50 feet altitude between the rocks. She wasn't even looking at the radar altimeter. Instinct. The first SAM missile came. Maya deployed chaff and turned hard left. A missile hit the rocks. "Terrain masking," Morrison murmured. "Perfect." Second missile. This time Maya flipped. The helicopter upside down, diving into the canyon. The missile lost its target. "That move is against the laws of physics," said Major Bradley. "No," Morrison smiled. "That move is Ghost Torres." Maya found the first pilot. She made a perfect landing under enemy fire, picked up the pilot, and took off. Time, 45 seconds. The second pilot was in a more challenging area. 3 enemy tanks around him. Maya used the Apache's 30mm cannon. 3 shots, 3 tanks destroyed. "Surgical precision," Morrison whispered. She rescued the second pilot too. A storm started on the return route. 0 visibility, maximum turbulence. Maya switched to instrument flying. No panic at all. Safe landing at base. Total mission time, 1 hour 23 minutes. The simulator stopped. Maya came out. No one in the room was speaking. Morrison stood up. I've been a pilot instructor for 25 years. I've never seen such performance. Maya bowed her head. Thank you, sir. Maya, Morrison's voice was serious. You really are Ghost Torres? Yes, sir. Morrison had urgently called the Pentagon. General Adams? Morrison speaking. Ghost Torres is alive. Impossible. I just watched the simulator test. She's definitely Ghost Torres. Long silence. Morrison, don't share this topic with anyone. Ghost Torres officially died and will remain so. But sir, our 2 pilots. Let her rescue those pilots, but then we'll talk. When Maya came out of the hangar, the Apache was waiting for her. AH-64E Guardian, the most advanced attack helicopter. Maya walked around the helicopter. She checked everything. Weapons system, avionics, engine, rotor system. How does it look? Morrison asked. Perfect condition. Maya smiled, like it was waiting for me. Morrison gave Maya the pilot helmet. I can't officially give this to you. Because you don't officially exist. Maya took the helmet. It had call sign tag, Ghost. Where did you find this? From old files. I've been keeping it for 5 years. In case it was needed someday. Maya put on the helmet. As if she had never taken it off, Maya sat in the Apache's cockpit. She checked all systems. One by one. Pre-flight checklist. Communication systems, weapon systems, navigation. Everything was familiar. Even though this helicopter was a different model, its soul was the same. Morrison spoke on the radio. Ghost, radio check. Ghost, loud and clear. Ghost, you'll do this operation alone. No backup, no support. Are you sure? Maya paused for a moment. She had been waiting for this moment for 5 years. Copy, sir. Ghost is ready. Maya started the engine start procedure. Twin turbines howled to life. Rotor blades began to turn. Ground crew pulled back. Maya requested permission on the radio. Tower, Ghost requesting departure clearance. Ghost, you are clear for departure. Good luck. Maya raised the collective. The Apache lifted off the ground. After a 5-year break, Ghost Torres was in the air again. Maya was flying the Apache at 200 feet altitude, 150 knots speed. Desert landscape stretched below. Radio silent, radar passive. Morrison was watching from Fort Kellison control tower. What's Ghost's position? Grid 347, Corso 95, ETA to target area 30 minutes. Morrison was looking at GPS tracking. Maya was flying a perfect course line. No deviation. Maya called on the radio. Control, Ghost requesting weather update. Ghost, target area weather. Visibility 2 miles. Crosswind 15 knots. Temperature 102 degrees. Copy. Morrison had noticed the calmness in Maya's voice. No stress, no tension. As if she was doing a routine flight. As Maya approached the target area, she received a passive radar warning. Enemy air defense was active. Control, Ghost has multiple radar contacts. SAM sites active. Copy Ghost. Transmitting pilot coordinates. Maya received the coordinates. 2 pilots 3 kilometers apart from each other, both in enemy territory. Maya lowered the Apache further. 50 feet AGL, using terrain masking to hide from radar. Maya approached the first pilot's coordinates. F-16 wreckage was visible, but no pilot. Maya activated thermal imaging, searched for heat signature. Found him. The pilot was hiding behind some rocks. But there were 4 enemy soldiers around him. Maya brought the Apache to hover. Activated the 30mm cannon. First pilot, Ghost is here. Get ready. Maya fired warning shots. Enemy soldiers scattered. Maya landed the Apache on the ground. The pilot jumped into the helicopter running. Ghost! Thank God! Sit in back. Buckle up. Quick. Maya lifted the Apache. First pilot rescued. The second pilot was in a more challenging position. In the middle of a valley, enemy tanks around. Maya brought the Apache to hover at the valley edge. Locked Hellfire missiles. Control. Ghost engaging hostile armor. Maya fired 2 Hellfires. 2 tanks exploded. The third tank turned toward Maya, fired its main gun. Maya turned the Apache hard right. Tank shell hit the rocks. Maya fired the 4th Hellfire. Third tank was also destroyed. The second pilot ran too. Maya's helicopter. Ghost, you're a legend. Talk later. We're leaving now. Maya was flying back with both pilots. But enemy Air Force had mobilized. 2 MiG-29s were trying to intercept Ghost. Control. Ghost has 2 bandits on my 6. Ghost, nearest friendly air support 20 minutes out. Copy. I'll handle this. Maya took the Apache into the canyons. MiGs were jet aircraft. They couldn't maneuver in tight spaces. The first MiG crashed into the canyon wall. The second MiG gave up and turned back. Maya emerged into open airspace. Home stretch dot when Maya approached Fort Kellison. All base personnel were waiting on the landing pad. Everyone was watching Ghost's return. Maya made a perfect landing. Engines spun down. Dust settled. The 2 rescued pilots got out of the helicopter. Both were healthy. When Maya came out of the cockpit, applause erupted. All base personnel were applauding Maya. Morrison approached Maya. Ghost, mission report? 2. Pilots rescued, sir. Multiple hostile contacts eliminated. Apache operational. No damage. Morrison smiled. Outstanding, Captain. Captain? Effective immediately. Reinstated to active duty. Captain Maya Torres. Maya was surprised. Sir, I thought I was dead. Dead pilots don't fly like that. Welcome back, Ghost. But Maya's story wasn't ending. Here, Morrison had called Maya to his office for a special debriefing. But Maya wasn't alone. There were 2 men from the Pentagon. Maya, these are Agent Johnson and Agent Williams, CIA. Maya froze. CIA, the organization Walker had mentioned. Captain Torres, Johnson said, seeing you is interesting. What do you mean? You officially died in 2019, but you're living. Here, this creates complications. Williams continued. The Night Eagles program is classified. Your existence being known is a national security risk. Maya stood up. Are you threatening me? No, Johnson smiled. We're making you an offer. What kind of offer? Die again. Maya Torres disappears. Ghost Torres returns. Morrison intervened. Wait a minute. This woman just rescued 2 pilots. And we appreciate that, Williams said. But Ghost Torres's existence could expose many things. Maya's eyes narrowed. What things? Johnson and Williams exchanged glances. Operation Night Strike, Johnson said quietly. Maya's heart stopped. What do you know about Night Strike? We know everything. And some ... Corrections have been made. What corrections? Williams pulled out a file. There was internal sabotage in Operation Night Strike. Those responsible were found and ... handled. Maya took the file. There were photos inside. Dead people. Walker was among them. You killed Walker. Walker was leaking classified information. He was a national security threat. Maya closed the jaw. File. She noticed her hands were shaking. Now we're offering you the same choice, Johnson said. Either work with us or what? Or you become a national security threat like Walker. Maya had gone to the cafe where she was supposed to meet Walker outside the base. But Walker wasn't there. There was only a blood stain on the ground. Maya's phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Maya, this is Rodriguez, Sergeant Rodriguez. You? Need to get out of here, right now. Why? CIA is following you. Walker is dead. You're in danger, too. Maya looked around. She could see the black sedan. Where should I go? Hide for now. I'll contact you. Maya hung up. She had made her decision. Maya had returned to the hangar. Her Apache was there, but she wasn't alone. Morrison was waiting. Maya, what are you doing here? I came to say goodbye. Where are you going? Maya looked at the Apache. I don't know, but I can't stay here. Did the CIA threaten you? Yes, and they killed Walker. Morrison's face changed. My God, this is very bad. Colonel Morrison, it was an honor working with you. Maya, wait. You can't go alone. They'll find you. Maybe, but at least I'll go down fighting. Morrison touched Maya's shoulder. You're a hero, Maya. Don't forget that. I just did my job. No, you accomplished the impossible. And today you saved 2 people's lives. Maya smiled. Thank you. Maya sat in the Apache's cockpit. She started the systems. She didn't ask for permission. A voice came from the tower. Unknown aircraft. Identify yourself. Maya opened the radio. Tower. Ghost departing. Ghost, you? Don't have clearance. Ghost never needs clearance. Maya lifted the Apache. It disappeared into the night sky. Morrison was watching from the tower. Maya's helicopter appeared as a dot among the stars. Farewell, Ghost, Morrison whispered. 3 months later, there was no news from Maya. The CIA searched for her, but couldn't find her. Ghost Torres had disappeared again. But her story began to spread. Everyone on base talked about that day. How Technician Maya turned out to be Ghost Torres. The impossible rescue operation. Her stand against the CIA. The legend was told to newly arrived pilots. Once there was a woman who worked here. Everyone thought she was a technician, but she was actually Ghost Torres. 6 months later, in Afghanistan, Taliban forces had besieged an American base. All air support was cut off. The base commander was sending his final message. Mayday, Mayday. This is Firebase Alpha. We are surrounded. Requesting immediate air support. No response came. But then, in the darkness of night, a helicopter sound was heard. Apache. It wasn't showing up on any radar. The helicopter was hitting Taliban positions one by one. Surgical precision. Ghost maneuvering. 30 minutes later, Taliban forces had scattered. The base was saved. A voice came over the radio. Alpha Base, this is Ghost. You are clear. Ghost, identify yourself. Negative. Ghost out. The helicopter disappeared into the night darkness. A year later, at the Pentagon, General Adams was closing the file. Ghost Torres file. Officially, Kia, killed in action. But there were other files on his desk. Mysterious rescue operations that had taken place in the last 12 months. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Somalia, all had the same pattern. Impossible. Situations, single Apache, no identification. Perfect success rate. The same call sign was used in all operations. Ghost. Adams smiled. Maya Torres had officially died. But Ghost Torres had become a legend. 2 years later, a new technician had started working at Fort Kellison Hangar. Sarah Mitchell. Quiet. Skilled. No one noticed her. One day, while working in the hangar, Rodriguez approached her. Sarah, where did you work before? Various places. Sarah gave a short answer. Rodriguez looked at the back of her neck. There was a small tattoo. It looked very familiar. Sarah, Rodriguez whispered, You ... Sarah put her finger to her lips. I'm just a technician. Rodriguez smiled. Of course, just a technician. But Rodriguez knew. Ghost Torres had returned. With a new identity, new story, but the same spirit. That night Sarah was leaving the hangar when she looked up at the sky. Stars were shining. Her cell phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Ghost, mission briefing. Coordinates transmitting. Sarah smiled. Copy. Ghost is ready. She hung up. The Apache was waiting in the hangar. Maya Torres had died. Sarah Mitchell was just a technician. But Ghost Torres was immortal. And now everyone knew. The greatest heroes are those who work quietly. Pay attention to them. Because one day they might need to save your life. Never judge anyone by their appearance. The greatest power sometimes hides in the quietest place. This story is not real, but real heroes exist. They live among us, work quietly, and emerge when needed. Do you know someone like that?